4 square miles. That's the size of our beautiful little island. It's hard to believe that an area this small can offer new things to see, especially for the residents. That's why, for many, taking a Sunday afternoon drive around St. Croix is about the best way to explore the Big Island and see all that can be seen.
But if you really want to see the island, the best way to do so is to go on a hike. Now, there are many hidden jewels scattered throughout this very small landmass. Many times they're covered by overgrown brush, or they simply lie in areas too treacherous for vehicles. Today, we're going to rediscover some of our hidden treasures with help from the Croix Hiking Association and Olasee Davis. So fasten those bootstraps and join us on this island tour by foot.
The Croix Hiking Association is a nonprofit, local organization dedicated to educating the community and visitors about the territory's areas that bear natural, cultural, and historical significance. Through the efforts of its members, the association tries to facilitate the preservation of these areas by enforcement of legislation and other appropriate means. But of course, the association's real passion is hiking. On this hike, the association is being led by Mr. Olasee Davis. Now, what's interesting about this hike is that it starts off as a simple walk along the outskirts of the Humbug neighborhood, but then it ends at a breathtaking sight many don't even know exists in their backyard. And like with every hike being led by Mr. Davis, there's first lots of walking and learning.
So what you're seeing here is basically what we call a shrub or dry forest. We have about around 46 species of plants around the wetland area. And we have close to over 100 species of birds. Historically, the French Billy Pond area was a major bird area, going back for the early 1920s.
Now, I'm sure the Croix Hiking Association had a really good time, but I'm gonna have my own personal tour. Let's go meet our tour guide.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same path that the Hiking Association took. Let's just hope that I don't get lost.
Now, the area that we're walking through is French Billy Pond, and it's a year-round wetland.
So far, I'm only seeing trees, but still on the path. Wait, I think I'm getting close.
Now, after a little hike through a little bit of bush, expect to see something amazing.
As you get closer to the pond, the surrounding area changes drastically, from dried up brush to a wetland marsh-like area. Come on, who can resist hopscotch with these blocks?
Oh my gosh, this is really wet. I did not expect it to be so wet. This is crazy. I didn't know something like this existed.
And there it is, French Billy Pond.
Our hair is beautiful. It's so calm and relaxing and amazing. I didn't expect to see something out here like this. Now we're here with our good friend, Mr. Olasee Davis at Barren Spot French Pond. Now, Mr. Davis, tell us a little bit about the history of this place.
The history go back with the Croix Lagoon. The Croix Lagoon was the largest pond in the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Today, Hovensa and St. Croix Remington is within that area. It was filled inland.
French Billy Pond has been known to historians since the 1920s. It was part of Croix Lagoon, which at the time was the largest mangrove lagoon on island. Back then, the area was mainly known for cattle grazing, but in the 1960s, it was severely severely impacted when hemp oil developed in the area. Pictures taken in 1974 by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife show almost all vegetation removed. Fortunately, the University of the Virgin Islands acquired and retained 52 acres, which included the wetland. With help from hemp oil, the area has been maintained as a wildlife preserve.
But this particular area here, French Billy Pond, exists during a particular time. And it's the one, the major pond in the Virgin Islands in terms of what we call waterfalls. We have 3 ponds here, and they range from 9 to 21 acres the pond.
Okay, now I heard this pond is specifically special because it remains wet mostly all year round.
It do remain wet all year round. There's 2 other ponds, and one of the reasons because the water is deep here in the area. And you notice that you come here this morning, see a lot of birds, and of course a lot of food here. And what's interesting to that, you right next to the refinery, and you hardly have any noise or anything like that.
Sure.
So the pond, the birds are accustomed to the refinery next door. But the pond definitely is deep, and because the water is deep, is hot water all year round.
Okay, now you mentioned the oil refinery. Does the oil refinery in any way have an effect on, the preserving this area?
No, in fact, in terms of the ocean area, if you go to the coastal area, definitely. But inland here, they're kind of compatible.
Okay.
It add, in fact, to the site itself.
Now,
Yeah.
I also wanted to know what big part does the university play in keeping this area,
The university
beautiful?
is the one that manage the area. Marsha Taylor, she worked for the university, the marine area, and they create trails. They identify the plants, and we bring a lot of students here, the high school, both public and private, and also they conduct research. So it's a research facility for the university itself.
So I'm looking forward to experiencing this and you showing me everything about this area. Okay?
Everything, just ask the question.
Okay.
Let's go get a better look at this pond and see what else we can find.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have cars and everything.
Is there a specific? Look at the family of ducks over there. Oh, they're so cute. You should see these ducks. They're so tiny. They're swimming around. Okay, so Mr. Davis, I see there's different types of birds out there. We have the duck. What type of duck is that?
The white pigtail.
White pintail.
Yeah, and then we have the black neck silk, and then further in the back we have the brown pelican.
The brown pelican.
And right now, the feeding, usually it's bird feed all in the morning and late in the evening because the sun is out. And one reason they here probably is because the area protected, they don't disturb it with the animals. And so in terms of human, and you can sit in the red so they ain't looking at us, they just
They ain't bothering
eat,
nobody.
they buy nobody and just eating as they go along.
Now, what types of fish are they probably eating in there?
In here we do have the tilapia fish and the mosquito fish and other small little fishes inside
Okay.
in here.
Now, are there some forbidden fruits around here? Things that you just can't eat?
Yeah, we have the forbidden fruit, I guess, Adam fruits, the one that called manganese tree.
Manganil, a true forbidden fruit. It grows like an apple and even looks like an apple, but one bite can prove to be deadly.
One of the cases was in 1954 in St. Thomas, when someone ate this and they get poisoned and almost die. People die, the literature that we have, people die from this. Now, throughout the Caribbean, this is pretty popular. So when Columbus came in 1493, they came into Salt River, and the men saw this, tree along the coast. They thought it was American apple. Okay, you see, look like a little apple. And they went and they plugged it off the tree, began to eat. They got poisoned. It mentioned a lady, she was nursing a child. So as she gave the child breast milk, the child got poisoned, and it mentioned for a couple of days the child was in torment. What's interesting about this, the Indian take this and they make a paste from it. And we use to put an arrow for shooting, hunting here throughout the entire Caribbean regions. The African take the same fruit and cook it and give it to the planters and kill them. Now, during the time of when Columbus came here, in the U.S. soil, you have the old and the new world. The first war ever started, the first fight in this part of the world and in the United States was in Salt River, what they call the Cape of the Isle. It was a female Indian that was going back out on a little boat, and they saw the ship dock out there, and his men came in, Columbus came looking for water. As they was going out, they meet up with the native here in the island, and they encounter. And according to the written history, they shoot a couple of the arrows, some men get hit. In a couple of days, the men die. And Columbus called it the Cape of the Isle. It was this particular fruit here with the arrow that faced those men. And then he captured the native, carried them back to Spain. You can see this particular tree. Now, in the National Park in St. John, they have big sign, don't go so near the tree. When it's rain, because the sap fall, it drop in your skin, you break it out. If the sap fall in the oil, possibility, you can go blind. It just itch. But what's interesting, that it make good honey. And when you eat the honey, it don't have no impact on you. But the crab like this, the crab eat this, and then when we eat the crab, we got to pause the crab. You know, to eat the crab. So the crab can eat this and have a way to detach themselves as compared to us human beings. We cannot do that.
Another reason why it pays to go on hikes with the Hiking Association.
Another question you have, you want to go for a swim? Just kidding.
I asked that earlier, but
I don't know if you can swim with there. I won't swim with there though.
you want to swim in it? Okay, I won't go neither then.
Buttonwood.
Buttonwood?
Yeah, this other mangrove.
Okay.
You call this a green knuckle. The gray one, some people call them scatter.
They're also known as burning seeds. If you rub them on a coarse surface, they heat up and can burn you.
And they use these to play the Wari game, the oldest game in the world, 6,000 years old. And they use, from these, they use 52. It's something like check out, they got to start from one side and end up on the other side.
I see.
And so it's pretty popular, and they make earrings out of it. The seed is poisonous inside the seed, not about touching the
So
seed.
it's not edible.
This is the vine here, and the vine, you got to be careful. And the vine, it have thorns on it, on the other side of the vine, and they like claw, they like, you can hold the seed, they like this here. So once they grab you, it cannot release you, so it tear your skin.
Oh, wow.
It grab onto your clothes, so you got to be careful not to get too close. Here, the seed inside in here, this is green. When it get mature, it turn brown, and with the hot sun, it explode. It look pop, and it open, and then the seed drop down here.
Oh, okay.
With the Wari game, let me show you in like a hole here, a hole here, and a hole here, and you got hole like this, and then you got the seeds in here, and then the person got to move the seed until they fill this on top, and that's how the game go. It's deal with math. You got to do a lot of math, a lot of strategy, trying to get the seed come up there. In the Cayman Island and Antigua, they have big competition with this here.
Yeah? Up to now?
Up to now, yeah.
Wow.
Big competition. It used to be very popular in the Virgin Islands many years ago when most of the older folks, than today. But we still have it at UVI with the first program where they teach the
I
kids
come in to learn how to play.
Saver Smith.
Okay.
And so the seed start from here and go up. And you can make earrings that sell out of these, chains and what's not out of them.
Now this is the site for the other two ponds. They're not as deep as the first one, but they do have some interesting
Fiddle crab. This is we call it fiddle crab. But locally they call it the jackass crab. And this is the Gundy. All these holes you see around here have smaller fiddle crabs that come out all in the morning when they got water here, and they come in thousands, and they want the food source for the birds.
So they call it a jackass crab because of
Because the big gundy. Yeah.
And how big is it? It's about...
The body about like that big. And they got this huge gundy.
Okay, I see.
And they're moving around, and they say they look like the jackass. They know where they're going. They're just going all over the place.
Okay.
And it's like this here almost like half the body size.
I see.
You know, so they just call it the jackass crab. So this is one in the gundy here.
As beautiful as the ponds are, they're not the only highlight on this hike. There is also a magnificent view.
Wow! Oh my God, do you see how blue and clear that water is? It's pretty.
This is Cane Garden Bay. The waves are a little rough, but it's great for wind and kite surfing. Cane Garden Bay is also known as the turtle nesting site, and you are more than likely to come across this little fella and his friends, a Portuguese man-of-war. Commonly thought of as a jellyfish, this polyp can deliver a serious sting. It's only 3 to 12 inches in length, but its tentacles can grow to be over 33 feet long. The sting from tentacles cause excruciating pain, sometimes accompanied by fever, shock, or even heart and lung problems. Oh yeah, men of war like this one that has been washed up on shore can still deliver a sting. So the smart thing to do when you see one is to leave it alone. And the last secret in this area, well, it's actually my favorite. This miniature cave.
So Mr. Davis,
Yeah.
I can see we're in a real life cave here.
Yeah, this is a natural cave made by the ocean. See water come inside the cave. Along the crevices, there are nests from birds. And about 10 million years ago, this part of St. Croix pushed up from the ocean floor to all, let's say, limestone, what we call calcium carbonate. And it just pushed right up in the center of the island. So this gives a good example how the island was formed. And then on top, you have soil on top the area. So along this area and going straight around, you find this limestones along this area. So just give an example. At night, you have bats inside in here. So they come here at night, you will see the bats. Now in big cave like in Puerto Rico, as you go in this cave, they have where it begin to drip down,
Crystal
the
deposits.
crystal deposit. And then also they have underwater rivers where you go in this cave and see the water running way under the rivers. So this is a good example of a cave.
Can we find caves like this throughout the island?
You go mostly on the northern part of the island, like around the northwest, you find cave like this, against the hillside and along the particular coast.
That's amazing.
All these little crevices here, you know, and look at the seaweed. The seaweed come right in. All here is seaweed. So that's telling you see part of the seaweed there, that's telling you the water being all up there.
Okay.
See all in that area there? The water come right up to it. There again, if I walk over here, for example, see all of the seaweed there.
Collected.
You
So that
collect it,
means the water comes all the way in.
Come out up here.
That's
And see
crazy.
there's seaweed up here again.
So does the water coming in
The water come in.
mess with the nesting of the
The
birds?
bird is very smart. They build a nest more further up.
Okay.
And they know when to build a nest too as well.
The high tide.
Yeah, they know high tide, yeah.
Okay. Wow, we know your secret hideaways now,
Oh,
man.
no. Don't tell nobody.
Okay, okay. It's a secret. It's a secret.
She's making me blush.
The Barren Spot, French Billy Pond area is just a perfect example of a beautiful jewel hidden in the rough. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for the tour, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you in the weeks to come. But right now, we have to catch up with the other members of the Hiking Association as they explore another part of the island, this time by moonlight. This should be interesting.
The hike that we're doing this evening is Davis Bay, Wills Bay, and Sweet Bottom. Area, it's the name of the trail is Turnbull Trail. It's a very narrow trail all the way right down to the beach. It's approximately about 2.5, 3 miles going, and so it's about, we would say it's about 6 miles of going and coming. It's very, it's a very slippery trail. Lot of curves, a lot of gullies, and there's a lot of what we call catch and keep, things that you don't see. At the end of the trail, we'll be down at Wills Bay, right down at the bottom of the beach.
Now, Hector has done this hike many times, but never at night. So it's a first for everyone. The hike goes along Trumbull Trail, which lies above the guardhouse of the Carambola Beach Resort. The area is Davis Bay, and back during Danish rule, it was known as no man's land because of the dense tropical forests and steep slopes along the coast. Right as the last bit of sunlight disappears, the hike begins, and right away you realize this isn't your ordinary walk in the woods. Normally on this hike, you would see endangered plant species such as the native tire palm, but at this time of night, your eyes are generally glued to the ground so that you don't trip and fall. The path is very narrow and has many sharp turns. Nonetheless, what you miss visually, you experience spiritually.
This entire trail is an old slave trade. It was much wider where her horse and cart could have moved. And this is where they brought the sugar cane from Wills Bay to Davis Bay plantation. The entire route is an old slave road.
There are some scenic moments like this one overlooking the hotel.
This is the halfway mark, definitely. And this was the roughest part of the hike up to now, after we did this hill. From here it's pretty regular.
How far would you say we walked so far?
So far, 1.5 miles.
And this one on the grassy ridge of Sweet Bottom Bay, where hikers finally get to see the area illuminated by the moon. We are more than halfway through the hike, and after a few more turns and twists, you come across an open path that leads straight to the stony beach of Wills Bay.
Okay, down here we just usually spread off, find a nice spot and chill, enjoy the moonlight.
The experience is one that stays with you. It's a glimpse of the island in its past natural state, when the only light came from the moon and stars, and the crashing sound of waves washed your every thought away. It's one of the most peaceful moments you can have, and all you have to do to experience it is take a moonlight guided walk.
Sometimes it's the simple things in life that brings us the most pleasure. This show was an absolute joy to do. It reminded me that the simple things that we often take for granted are what truly make this island special. If you have the time, explore the island. Sign up for a hike or simply open your eyes and senses to the beauty that surrounds you. And remember, there's only one St. Croix. So cherish the island, cherish your home, but most of all, cherish each other. We'll see you next time.